I imagine that marriage with the right partner and motherhood can be sources of great joy and fulfillment. However, these two things cannot and should not be the yardstick with which we measure women's worth. To quote Chimamanda again, we speak of the title Mrs. as though those who are not Mrs. have somehow failed in something. Mrs. can be a choice, but to infuse it with as much value and importance as our culture does is disturbing. Perhaps even more frustrating is that all too often it is women themselves who propagate this very flawed way of thinking. We're a long way from achieving many aspects of gender equity, both here in my country, Kenya, and globally. Nonetheless, many women have gone ahead of us and fought tireless battles, sometimes at great personal cost, to improve our status. It is because of them that we enjoy many previously unavailable opportunities, such as equal access to education, improved political agency, better access to leadership spaces, the ability to work outside the home and own businesses, and so much more. Yet we women who are fortunate enough to enjoy these and many other opportunities make a mockery of the sacrifices and efforts of our predecessors by reducing women's worth solely to their ability to have a man and babies. So this is my plea to all people out there who are raising daughters and sons. Teach your children that girls and women are worthy human beings in and of themselves. And whilst marriage and motherhood can be great things, it is ultimately a choice. Let them know that choosing a different path or making a different choice does not make them any less worthy, nor does it invalidate their contribution to society. Teach them that in addition to being mothers and wives, should they so choose, they can be so much more, that they can go against the grain and be anything that they want to be in whichever field they choose. But mostly, teach them to value themselves just as they are so that they do not rely on external factors to define their self-worth. And I just want to pause here, dear listener, and acknowledge my dad. He might not even remember this conversation, but I remember one time over breakfast, I was talking to him about the pressure that I was getting from others about getting married. He told me something to the effect of, learn to block out the noise, Koi, because only fools listen to what everyone else has to say. I have used that advice in very many areas of my life, and it has helped me make life decisions that served me very well. So if you're listening to me right now, and you're raising a girl or a boy, for that matter, understand how important it is that you, as the parent, are the person in their corner, not the person adding to their pressure. Because trust me, they're already getting enough pressure from society. Now back to my reflection. I wrote that piece of the young girl about 9 years ago now, and it was in response to the conversations that I was having with her because she was just an amazing human being. And I was really just trying to make sense of why we socialize our girls in this way and hopefully start a conversation around it. To understand why we reduce and narrow women and girls' value to only these two things. In my own view, marriage and motherhood is only one part of a woman's identity. It is not their entire existence. And I think we do women a great disservice when we completely minimize all other aspects of their lives and over-glorify this one aspect. Because to me, women, and men for that matter, are whole and worthy human beings in and of themselves and do not require external validation to be so. Not even from a wedding ring or a womb that has carried children. Now, don't get me wrong. I have said this before, and I will repeat it again. I have absolutely nothing against marriage or motherhood. What I have a problem with is people acting as though there's only one way to live life, and then shaming and judging those of us who live differently or who make different choices. Just as we are diverse as human beings, there are multiple ways to live life, each with its joys and sorrows and with its pros and cons.